Hello everyone, my name is Neetu Dalal. Welcome back to my channel called EduClasses. In today's video, we are going to cover chapter 3, that is Meeting Life Challenges, part 3. So in part 1 and part 2, we've already covered the index till, we've covered till coping with stress, and we've covered stress management techniques. In this video, which is part 3 of chapter 3, we will be talking about promoting positive health and well-being and some of the techniques which exist. So promoting positive health and well-being. In this, we will see as what are some of the ways in which we can promote positive health and can be physically and mentally well, right? So the first is stress-resistant personality. Recent studies by Kobasa, they have shown that people with high levels of stress but low level of illness share three characteristics, right? So people who are high on stress but are low levels of illness have three characteristics which are referred to as personality traits of hardiness, right? So people who have a lot of stress and still don't have illness are have traits of hardiness personality, and it consists of three C's, right? This consists of three C's. One is commitment, control, and challenge, right? Hardiness is a set of belief about oneself, the world, and how they interact, right? It's the belief about us, the world, and how these two interact with each other. It takes shape as a sense of personal commitment to what you are doing, a sense of control over your life, and feeling of challenge, right? So it goes on to say that stress resistant personalities have control, which is a sense of purpose and direction in life. So who are these people who have high stress level, still don't fall for it and do not develop illness, right? They have a sense of control on their life and they have a purpose and direction, right? Therefore, the stress doesn't get over them. They have commitment to work, family, hobbies, and social life. And challenge, that is, they see life changes in life as normal and positive rather than as threat. Why are we calling such people stress resistant personalities? Why? Because even after having a lot of stress, they are so good at resisting it that they develop that kind of a personality, and in the end we are calling them stress resistant personalities. So personalities which resist stress are the people who have these kind of traits. Everyone does not have these characteristics, right? Everybody cannot be someone who has such a hard personality or who has a hardiness personality. And many of us do relearn specific life skills in areas such as rational thinking and assertiveness to equip ourselves better to cope with the demands of everyday life. So if you're somebody who has stress resistant personalities, then you need not worry about the stress that is occurring to you, because you yourself have a personality which will resist stress. But not all of us are, have characteristics of that sort, and then we can develop the skills it requires to cope up better. So therefore, there are some life skills that we can develop. Life skills, what are life skills? Now, life skills are abilities for adaptive and positive behavior that enable individuals to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of everyday life. यानी लाइफ स्किल्स कुछ एक ऐसी आपके अडेप्टिव या ऐसे आपके पॉजिटिव बिहेवियर्स का एक समूह है जो आपको हेल्प करता है अपनी लाइफ की छोटी छोटी प्रॉब्लम से अच्छे से डील करने में. एंड ये जो लाइफ स्किल्स हैं दे कैन बी लर्नड ओवर टाइम एंड इम्प्रूव्ड अपॉन, यानी आप समय के साथ इन लाइफ स्किल्स को सीख सकते हैं और उन्हें उनमें सुधार भी कर सकते हैं. So some of the life skills are assertiveness, time management, rational thinking, improving relationships, self-care, and overcoming unhelpful habits such as perfectionism, procrastination, etc. These are some life skills that will help you meet challenges of life. So these are examples of some of the life skills which can help us in meeting life challenges and in promoting a positive health. Now, another way in which we can promote health and live better is assertiveness. So what is assertiveness? Assertiveness is a behavior or skill that helps to communicate clearly and confidently our feelings, needs, wants, and thoughts. So if you are somebody who is assertive and you can say whatever you want to say without any resistance or without any hitch, to anybody that you want to, chances are that you will express, or you will, you will feel lot lesser stress in comparison to somebody who is keeping their feelings inside and is not able to express it as clearly as the person would like to, right? It is the ability to say no to a request, to say an opinion without being self-conscious, or to express emotions such as love, anger, etc. openly. So somebody who has this characteristic will also have no issues in saying no to somebody. And if they feel that they don't want to do a work, or they don't want to follow the request somebody is making of them, they will directly say no. And a lot of us, because we do not want to upset the other person, or we want to, we want to have a positive image of ourselves. A lot of times, a lot of people say, have issues in saying no to certain people, right? So somebody who can do this is somebody who's assertive, and this is a good trait to have, because it also helps you in dealing with stress. If you're assertive, you feel confident and have high self-esteem and a solid sense of your identity. If you're somebody who can speak your opinion, who can say no if you don't want to say something, you will be somebody who will be much more confident in comparison to someone who's very hesitant or is very shy, right? And this also adds on to your personality as well as how you're dealing with stress. Next important thing which comes is time management, right? The central principle of time management is to spend your time doing the things that you value or that help you to achieve your goals. So the first, it's a very basic understanding of the concept कि अगर आप सही समय पर सही काम कर रहे हैं, if you're studying at the right time for the right exam, you will not feel stress. You will not feel stress, or you will not face stress, or even if you do, you will feel that you are equipped to deal with the problem, right? Having anxiety is fine, but you will always feel prepared. So therefore, if you're somebody who manages your time well and who has a good hold on time management, then the chances are that you will deal with lot lesser stress in comparison to somebody who's not doing or who's not managing their time well. So that's also another important factor. Another important factor is time management. So the very basic concept is that if you're somebody who's doing the right thing at the right time, अगर आप सही समय पर सही काम कर रहे हो, तो ये होगा ही नहीं, ऐसा कोई सिचुएशन आएगा ही नहीं जहाँ पर आप बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रेस फील कर रहे हो. And even if the situation will happen, it will be very lesser in comparison to other problems, right? And if you're not managing stress, for example, if you know that your half yearlies are approaching or that your pre-boards are approaching, and if you're not studying at the right moment, right, then you will feel a lot much more stressed up. But if you have managed your time, and if you have planned your time accordingly, and you're giving equal number of hours to every subject, then that it will not lead you to feel a lot of stress at the end of when the exams approach. On the other hand, if you don't manage your time well, then it will lead to a lot more stress, right? Another important point here in promoting your positive health and well-being is rational thinking. So many stress related problems occur as a result of distorted thinking. बहुत बार हम अपने ही पैर पे खुद कुल्हाड़ी मार लेते हैं, and because of the way we think, we experience a lot of stress. अगर आप सही तरीके से सोचते ही नहीं हैं, तो भी आपको बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रेस हो सकता है. Rational thinking also means that you have the logical sense and you know what is right or what is wrong, and you have the capacity to make the right decisions, right? Some of the principles of rational thinking are challenging your distorted thinking and irrational beliefs. जैसे one irrational belief could be कि आप ये सोचो कि सब everybody is talking bad about me or everybody is gossiping about me. This is an irrational belief. People might be talking about you, but it may not be bad always, or then not everyone is talking about you always, right? So if you think that way, it is a irrational belief. Driving out potentially intrusive negative anxiety, provoking thoughts, and making positive statements. So all of these things you can do to improve your rational thinking. And as your rational thinking improves as a result of that, you will experience much lesser stress in comparison to if your rational thinking is not at par, right? Another important way in which you can promote positive health and will can be good or well is improving relationships. Now we all know, even like from a very younger age, relationship means a lot to us. When we are in school, our school batchmate, our benchmate, they mean the world to us. If they're not talking to us, it leads to stress. If the teacher scolds you, it leads you to feel stressed, right? And as we grow older, the importance of relationship also increases in your life. You develop more friends, you have a relationship with your family, friends, and then as you grow old, you have romantic relationship with your counterparts or your partners. So relationships are very important to a person, and if there is strain in those relationships, then that also becomes a very important factor of your stress, and it adds a lot to your stress, right? It also becomes a root cause of a lot of stressful situations. For example, if you don't get along with your friend very much, that will lead to stress, but that is still something you can take care of, right? If you and your friends are not meeting the same point at some point of time, fine, you friends go out of your life, right? But if it is an important, much important a relationship to you, by whether it is a friendship or it is a family relationship or it is an intimate relationship with your partner, then working or improving these relationships can help you reduce the stress that you're feeling, right? And the key to improving a relationship is communication. So everybody keeps saying that communication is the key to a healthy relationship, but not everybody actually practices the art of communication. So if you start doing that, that also will lead to much more positive health, and that's one way in which you can promote your health. Now, a good communication also includes three essential skills, right? One of them is listening to what other person has to say. You can't just keep talking always. You also have to listen कि अगला इंसान क्या बोलना चाहता है, right? Expressing how you feel. The second is you also have to talk about how you are feeling and what you think, and accepting the other person's opinions and feelings, even if they are different from your own. So there are three key aspects of this. One is listening to the other person's opinion, sharing your own opinions and how you feel, and also the other very important point is that you have to accept the other person's opinion and feelings, although you might not be agreeing to them. So these are three very important aspects of communication. Now, the seventh way in which you can promote your positive health and well-being is self-care, right? We all know that when we care for ourselves, we start to feel much better. For example, if you are feeling very low and you go for a spa, or if you go for a haircut, or if you go for a massage, it makes you feel better instantly, right? Why? Because you've indulged in self-care and it makes you feel important, it makes you feel special. But we going to a spa, massage might not, it these are short term, short term ways of caring for yourself. The longer term would be maintaining a healthy and a balanced diet, exercising regularly, eating the right things, waking up early, going to sleep, having 8 hours of sleep at least every day. These are all those small self-care things which go a long way, and as a result of this, you do stay much more healthier, physically, mentally, and emotionally, in comparison to when you don't take care of these small things. Environmental stressors like noise, pollution, space, light, color can all exert an influence on our mood, right? We do know that when we cross an area which smells bad, it instantly, turns off our mood. So taking care of these small things also will help you take better care of yourself and will promote your health in the longer run. Another way in which you can promote your positive health is by overcoming unhelpful habits. Like, we all know that we have habits which are not helping us in any way, and in fact, they hinder our mental growth. Still, we don't change those habits. So, overcoming those unhelpful habits can also be a really good way which will promote your health, such as one, and some, what are some of the examples of unhelpful habits? Perfectionism is one of them. If you are somebody who demands or who needs 100% perfectionism in whatever you do, this could also be a very unhelpful habit, because in a lot of scenarios you can't achieve 100% perfectionism, and that leads to a lot of stress. Avoidance is another example of unhelpful habits, right? If you're feeling something, you're avoiding the way you feel, you're avoiding somebody, you don't want to face the situation or the scenario that you're in. Procrastination, these are all ways, all habits which are unhelpful, and by changing them you can promote your positive health. Specifically, factors that act as stress buffers and facilitate positive health are diet. So you can overcome unhelpful habits and then indulge habits which are healthy, which can be diet, exercising regularly, positive attitude, positive thinking, and social support, right? Increase your social support. So now we are talking about all the things that we should do, and one of them is diet. So maintaining a balanced diet can lift your mood. It can give you more energy. It can, feed your muscles, improve circulation, prevent illness, strengthen the immune system, and make one feel better, cope with stresses of life. So maintaining a balanced diet is Very, very important. Like how they say that you become what you eat, right? Or what you are is basically what you eat, right? So whatever, so that's how important your diet is. So whatever you eat also impacts you mentally, emotionally, mood, you know. So, for example, when we eat chocolate, and if you're somebody who likes chocolate, it instantly lifts up your mood, right? And I'm not saying that eating chocolate is healthy. I'm just saying that what you consume also impacts your mood, right? So the key to healthy living is to eat three main meals a day, and eat a varied, well-balanced diet. So the two important key points here are that you have three main course meals in a day, and you should have a nutrition full diet or a balanced diet. The 10th way of promoting your positive health or of promoting your well-being is exercising. I cannot stress more on this. It is important, it is extremely important to exercise, and regular exercise plays an important role in managing weight and stress, and is shown to have a positive effect on reducing tension, anxiety, and depression. So if you're somebody who has anxiety issues, or who's going through a phase which is depressing, or you have tension, indulging in regular exercising can really help. Physical exercises that are essential for good health are stretching exercises. Some of the exercises which are good are your stretches, yogic asanas, aerobic exercises such as whether it is jogging, swimming, cycling. So you can do either of them or whichever you enjoy doing, but you should regularly exercise. Another way in which you can promote your health is positive attitude. Maintaining a positive attitude towards life is also one of the most crucial things. And no matter what's happening in life, if you look at with a positive attitude, you will feel much lesser stress, and it will promote your positive health in a much more way if you're not looking at it from a positive perspective. Some of the factors leading to a positive attitude are having a freely accurate perception of reality. So if you're somebody who can judge the reality as it is, you'll have a positive attitude, because then you will not stress about what doesn't even exist, right? If you have a sense of purpose in life and responsibility, you will have a positive attitude. Acceptance and tolerance for different viewpoints. This has become really important. We see that people get angry, or they have a fight on small difference of opinion. So you do need to understand, and you should have the capacity to accept somebody's point of view even if they contradict the way you feel. So you might not agree with what the person is saying, but acceptance is important, and you need not fight with the person, right? So this is again very important. Finally, being open to new ideas and having a sense of humor with the ability to laugh at oneself helps us to remain centered and see things in a proper perspective. Another very important aspect of positive attitude is having a sense of humor, and not having a sense of humor just to make fun of somebody else. You should also have the capacity to laugh on yourself, and that is really a skill, and it you will not realize how much it helps you in your attitude once you have the capacity to laugh on yourself, and it really helps you build confidence. Next is positive thinking. In the last one we've talked about positive attitude. In this we are talking about positive thinking. That not just positive attitude, if you complemented it the way with which you're thinking, and you think positive, that also will enable your positive health in a much better way. And this also leads to reduce your stress and cope with stress better. Optimism, which is the inclination to expect favorable life outcomes, has been linked to psychological and physical well-being. We all know that if you're somebody who look at life with a positive attitude or positive mentality, you do tend to be more happy physically and psychologically. People differ in the manner which they cope. For example, optimists tend to assume that adversity can be handled successfully, whereas pessimistic anticipate disasters, right? So if depending on whether you're an optimist or a pessimist, you will expect different outcomes from the same situations. For example, if it is a person who's optimistic, the person will say that, okay, this exam has given me the opportunity to prove myself, and I will do better, and I will everybody realize that I'm a good student. The pessimist could think that, oh, this exam will lead to a lot of disaster and I will not perform well. So it varies depending on what kind of ways in which you're thinking, it impacts your health. Now the last one is 13th, which is social support. This is another very important point in promoting your positive health. Now, like I said, that maintaining and improving relationships is very important, and social support is also a part of that. Now let's start by defining what is social support. So social support is defined as the existence and availability of people on whom you can rely upon. People who let us know that they care about, value, and love us. So these are the people who we trust, who we feel we can confide in, and they are there for us when we need them. This is not your artificial friend circle or your Facebook friends or your Instagram friends. No, these are few people you feel with in front of whom you can be vulnerable, with whom you can share whatever, and they will still stand behind you and care for you. Social support can help to provide protection against stress. This can your so having a good social support can do wonders for a person who's feeling stressed. It has been seen that somebody who's experiencing the same intensity of a problem, and if the person has good social support, the person will recover much earlier and in a much better way in comparison to somebody who doesn't have social support, right? So therefore people who have good social support experience less stress because they feel that they have people with them, and no matter what will happen, they will sail through. Social support may be in form of tangible support or assistance. Now social support can also mean that people can provide you with things when you want them, whether it is money, goods, services, right? During times of stress, one may experience sadness, anxiety, and loss of self-esteem. It is very natural to feel we don't feel confident all the time, and during stressful days it is absolutely normal to experience a certain level of sadness, anxiety, and loss, and you feel like you're worthless. That's all right, but the feeling should not stay once you overcome the stress, right? Supportive friends and family provide emotional support by reassuring the individual that she or he is loved, valued, and cared for. Now imagine if a child is having an exam and the person says that, Mama, I don't know what I will do, and I don't know whether I will be able to do it, and I feel I'm of no use. If you have a social supporting family, your parents will tell you that no, you've done better in the exams till now and you will do great. You're an intelligent child, and no, you will sail through this, right? And that really helps you. But if you don't have social support of that sort, then it can also lead to more stress, right? Research has demonstrated that social support effectively reduces psychological distress, such as depression or anxiety, and during times of stress. There is growing evidence that social support is positively related to psychological well being. Generally, social support leads to mental health benefits for both the giver and the receiver. Now, it's not just that a good social support only helps the person who's receiving it, it also helps the person who's giving the support, right? So if I am lending help to my friend, it will also promote my positive health as well as the health of the person to whom I'm extending the support to, right? So social system or social support work both ways, right? With this, we finished the chapter 3, which is meeting life challenges. And I've covered all the topics that were there in the index. And we will be coming up with more videos on chapter 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So stay tuned for those. If you like what we create, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, and share it with amongst your close friends. If you have any suggestions or feedback for me, don't forget to write them down in the comments below. Also, like I've mentioned before, if you want the PPT that I'm referring to, you can comment down your email ID and I will make sure that the PPT reaches you. Thank you so much and stay tuned. Bye bye.